Queen Elizabeth I of England was born to Henry VIII and his second wife Anne Boleyn at Greenwich on September 7, 1533. Elizabeth's birth was a great disappointment to King Henry VIII because he already had a daughter, Mary, by his first wife and desperately wanted a son to succeed him. Since Anne Boleyn was unable to give King Henry VIII a son, she was executed on false charges of adultery when Elizabeth was young. King Henry VIII would eventually have a son, Edward, in 1537, who became first in line for the throne, moving Mary to second in line and Elizabeth to third in line. Throughout her childhood, Elizabeth had many stepmothers come and go, which is thought to be a contributor to Elizabeth's fear of marriage later on in life. Elizabeth received an impressive education and worked with many tutors. She excelled, and it was extremely evident that she was gifted. In fact, by the time she was an adult, she was fluent in at least 5 languages. After King Henry VIII died, Edward took the throne, moving Mary to first in line and Elizabeth to second in line. Edward died of prolonged bad health in the summer of 1553, and Mary took the throne as the Queen of England, moving Elizabeth to first in line. Before Elizabeth would reach the throne, she was accused of treason twice. Although she was never convicted, she was held prisoner at the Tower of London for 2 months, and then she was moved to Woodstock Manor in Oxfordshire, where she was held captive for a year as well. Many of Queen Mary's loyal followers thought Elizabeth was attempting to take the throne from Queen Mary and wanted her executed, but nothing was ever done. In fact, the Queen's husband, King Philip of Spain, was the one who allowed Elizabeth to return to her hometown of Hatfield in Hertfordshire because he knew the Queen was starting to fall ill and he wanted to be sure that if Elizabeth became Queen, they were on good terms. Elizabeth I was finally declared Queen on November 17, 1558, and was crowned officially on January 15, 1559. Elizabeth had come a long way from being an unwanted child to officially taking the throne after her father and half-siblings. She enjoyed the new freedom and also enjoyed many things including hunting, horse riding, music, and dancing. Right after her crowning, Queen Elizabeth, who was a devout Protestant, re-established the Protestant Church and restored debased coinage. She also became the supreme governor of the Church of England, but she made sure it was clear that she didn't want people prosecuted for their religious beliefs. Elizabeth didn't ever marry, which, as I previously mentioned, could be due to the many marriages her father had. She also never had any children to succeed her. It is thought that the fear of childbirth played a part in this, as she saw many women die during childbirth during this time period. King Philip's efforts to stay on Elizabeth's good side failed, and they were full-blown enemies in 1588. Philip even sent a fleet of soldiers to conquer England, but Elizabeth's superior tactics and strategy allowed England to defeat the Spanish and stand strong. This was significant because it showed that women are capable of leading war. Overall, Elizabeth's rule was extremely successful and is often referred to as the Golden Age of European history. She ruled as a monarch but took into consideration the advice of capable men as well as the people she ruled. Because of this, she was extremely popular and well-liked. When Elizabeth took the throne in 1558, England was impoverished. By the time she died on March 24, 1603, England was one of the most prosperous and powerful countries in the world.